Faxverse presents Teen goes missing in Aruba, but 10 years later, police uncover the truth. Help us spread the word about Faxverse by clicking that like button. And also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Most people have heard the tragic story of Natalee Holloway. That's because her story has been dominating the news for 13 years because of this tragedy and the fact that the story has been unfolding ever since. Natalee graduated from high school, and her senior class was taking a trip to Aruba. For Natalee, it was going to be a final week of fun before going to college. The Alabama teen was already accepted to college, where she was going to be majoring in pre-med. She planned to drink, dance, and party with her friends before starting the next phase of her life. Natalee was the daughter of David and Beth Holloway from Clinton, Mississippi. The couple divorced when Natalee was young, and her mother remarried a prominent Alabama man named George "Jug" Tweedy. This was when the family moved to Mountain Brook, Alabama. Natalee was a great student. She was a member of the National Honor Society, she was on the dance squad, and took part in many extracurricular activities. She graduated with honors, and her parents agreed to the Aruba trip. On Thursday, May 26, 2005, Natalee and 124 fellow seniors arrived for their 5-day-long vacation in Aruba. It was an unofficial graduation trip, but they managed to get 7 adult chaperones to go along just in case there were issues. With there being 7 adults and 124 students, it was clear there would not be much supervision. Since most of the students were 18 years old, though, it wasn't that big of a deal. As Natalee and her friends got settled into Aruba, they started partying, and many of the kids drank. Natalee was one of them. According to other kids on the trip, she drank every day. She was having a good time. The night before they were scheduled to leave, Natalee and her friends were going out one last time. And it was that night when they met a young Dutch immigrant named Jordan Vandersloot. The two hit it off quickly. Natalee liked the 17-year-old boy, so she left the bar with him and his 2 friends, brothers Deepak and Satish Kalpo. Joran was the son of a lawyer and an art teacher, and the family came from Arnhem, Netherlands, and they moved to Aruba in 1990. Joran did great there. He got good grades in school, and he was a star athlete. He seemed like a great kid, which is why Natalee liked him. The last time Natalee's classmates saw her, Natalee was outside of a popular bar in Aruba, Carlos and Charlie's. It was about 1:30 a.m., and when she got into the car with Joran, Deepak, and Satish. The next day, when the group was ready to head to the airport, they realized Natalee wasn't there. Her packed luggage and her passport were in her room, but she wasn't. As soon as it was determined that Natalee was missing, the authorities began a search. They checked the whole island and the surrounding waters. They never found her. When they questioned her friends, they told the authorities about Joran and his friends. When the men were questioned, they swore they had dropped Natalee back at her hotel and had no idea where she had gone. The next morning, Beth and Jug arrived in Aruba in a private jet that they borrowed from a friend. They did their own investigation and found out about Joran. Joran told Beth that he dropped Natalee off at the hotel at 2 a.m. He said that she fell down drunk and refused their help. He also told Beth that he saw a man in a black shirt approach Natalee when she was going into the hotel. He believed the man was a security guard and would help Natalee, so they drove off. On June 5th, the police found that man and a friend. They detained Nick John and Abraham Jones for questioning. They were sure that these men were responsible for Natalee's disappearance. Both of the men had solid alibis, and they were released from jail on June 13th. The police had no new leads, so they questioned and then arrested Joran and his 2 friends. Since there was no evidence against these men, the police had to release them as well. While the police questioned Joran, he mentioned a DJ named Steve Gregory Crows. Since he had an alibi that was airtight, he was released as well. Next, they brought in both Joran and his father. After being questioned, they were released. Beth was going crazy not knowing what happened to her daughter. Each time a lead didn't pan out, the police turned their attention back to Joran and the Kalpo brothers. Soon the brothers turned on their friend. The brothers stated that they dropped Joran and Natalee off at the Marriott Beach Hotel near the fishermen's huts. Due to all the conflicting stories, nobody was ever charged in Natalee's disappearance. In February 2008, Joran admitted what happened to Natalie to a man named Patrick Vandereen. He was an ex-con who had his vehicle wired for sound to get the confession on tape. Joran said that he was on the beach with Natalie when she went into convulsions. When she stopped, she was unresponsive. Joran says he tried to revive her, but she was already dead. He called a friend who told him to go home and he would dispose of the body. Even though he confessed, the police still couldn't arrest Joran. In March 2009, Joran contacted Beth. He told her that he would tell her where Natalie's body was and what happened if she would send him $25,000. Beth called the FBI, and they helped. On June 3rd, Joran was charged with extortion and wire fraud. Since he was living in Aruba, he couldn't be extradited and sent to an American prison. Finally, there was a charge that would stick. Joran took Beth's money and fled to Peru. There, he was not heard from for 2 years. Exactly 5 years to the day that Natalie disappeared, 21-year-old Stephanie Flores was found dead in a hotel room rented by Joran. He was sentenced to 28 years in jail. Both of Natalie's parents refused to give up on their daughter. Dave, her father, has been pursuing leads all these years. Recently, a man came forward saying that he knew Joran and that he had Natalie cremated along with a dog. He paid $200 to have them cremated together and buried at sea. When investigators found the ashes, they found that some belonged to a female of European descent. Since the mitochondrial DNA did not match Beth's, there was no way that it could be Natalie. Her family hasn't given up, though, and they hope one day to find out what exactly happened to Natalie. Beth and Dave say they will never stop searching for answers. Subscribe for more.